The NAR settlement practice changes officially go into effect this week. So the big question for buyers is, if you're getting ready to make an offer on a property, does this mean that you'll now have to pay compensation for a buyer's agent out of your own pocket? The answer is no, not directly. Let's break down what it actually means for you. What the settlement requires is that you enter into a written agreement with an agent prior to touring a property or doing anything that involves official brokerage services. In Colorado, this means either signing an exclusive right to buy agreement with an official buyer's agent, or you could also simply sign the compensation agreement that is going to be part of the new brokerage disclosure to buyer form, which is non-exclusive, meaning that it could be a better option if you haven't worked with this agent yet and aren't sure if you're ready to commit yourself to working with them. I won't get into the nuances of each form today, but either way, you will be discussing compensation. You'll be negotiating the actual amount that you are both comfortable with moving forward, and you will be signing a document that states that you will take on the risk of potentially paying that compensation in the event that you ultimately work together and successfully close on a property where that may not be offered by the seller. So why am I suggesting that you may not have to pay their compensation? Sure, sellers do have the option to not pay a buyer's agent, but that's nothing new. They've always had that option. It's never been mandatory, and nothing is changing that. The new aspect is that their offer of compensation can no longer be included in the MLS listing. But for the sake of it, let's just say that you do come across a seller who isn't offering to pay compensation to your buyer's agent, and now you're on the hook for it. Now it's just time for your broker to start negotiating on your behalf to either have the seller pay for it after all, at least pay a portion of it, or reduce the sales price of the property to account for it. Because when you stop to think about it, their price is likely artificially inflated anyway, because it's probably based on sold comps that had compensation built into their prices. But like I said, I think this is going to be pretty uncommon in our market. And with the increased transparency around compensation that is really being forced by this settlement, you'll know up front before touring a property if you're even walking into a case like that. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to play out here, and we may see some growing pains here in the next few months, but ultimately, I don't think this is going to change much of anything at the end of the day. The best advice that I can give to a buyer is not to assume that you can't afford your own representation, and definitely don't assume that going straight to a listing agent will save you any money. Especially in a nuanced market like Telluride, having an informed, dedicated agent to guide you through the buying process is more important now than ever. So don't let headlines or speculation about this settlement deter you from reaching out to a buyer's agent.